you shouldn't be here. Just sit with that for a second. I want you to imagine hearing those exact words, not from someone standing right next to you in the room, but scraped across a static-filled telephone line in the absolute dead of night. Welcome to The Explainer. Tonight, we're stepping far away from the bright, bustling daylight, and we are descending right into the isolating, heavy silence of the graveyard shift. Tonight, we're diving into the terrifying urban legend known as The Last Broadcast, written by Nabir Singha Roy. And let me tell you, it is an absolute masterclass in psychological tension and atmospheric dread. So I want you to settle in, maybe lower the lights a bit, because what we're about to break down here isn't just some spooky story about a radio show. It's a deep dive into what actually happens when the isolation of the dark starts actively turning against you. Section 1. The Graveyard Shift, 91.3 FM. So picture this. You've got that isolating, low hum of a radio station after dark. It's this bizarre environment built entirely on a one-way connection to the outside world, right? Our host, Maya Rahman, is sitting completely alone. It's midnight. The red on-air sign is glowing, casting this faint, creepy crimson wash over the studio consoles. She's just sitting there, sipping on some lukewarm coffee, and beyond the thick glass window of her sound booth, the streets outside are completely empty. Nabir Singha Roy describes it perfectly, actually, saying it's the kind of silence that literally presses against your skin. She's the voice keeping all the night owls company on her show Midnight Whispers, but physically, she is entirely alone.
And as you'll see, the night unfolds like a tightening noose. It's a progression. It starts simply enough at midnight. Then it escalates sharply at 1:07 a.m., and finally it hits critical mass at 2:30 a.m. Let's look at how that very first thread gets pulled.
Section 2. The River Road Warning. The first call.
Suddenly, that heavy silence completely shatters. The phone line blinks. Meyer hits the button, and at first there's absolutely nothing but a harsh hiss that just scratches the eardrums. But then, a voice, sounding like it was dragged through wet sand, whispers, "Accident. On River Road. 3 dead." And then, the line just goes dead. Maya actually forces a laugh into the microphone, that morbidly ironic defense mechanism of working the graveyard shift. She just thinks, okay, weird prank, whatever. But then, she opens her news browser, and right there on the screen, fatal collision on River Road, 3 confirmed dead. Posted exactly 8 minutes ago. I mean, imagine that feeling. The coffee practically turned sour in her throat. How on earth could a static-filled anonymous caller know the exact gruesome details of a crash that had literally just happened?
Section 3. Echoes from the Past, 1:07 a.m. So Maya spends the next hour just playing old records, absolutely desperate to shake this creeping unease. But right at 1:07 a.m., the line blinks again. She picks it up, and this time, the voice isn't dragged through sand. No, it's soft. It's trembling. And terrifyingly, it knows Maya's name. It starts talking about sitting beside her in 10th grade, and Maya realizes with this sickening, absolute drop in her stomach exactly who is on the other end of the line. Annika, a girl who used to doodle flowers on her desk, but who tragically drowned in a lake during their final year.
Aya tells the caller to just stop, but the line fills with this faint, awful sobbing. And then a single phrase begins to repeat, "Don't look behind, don't look behind, don't look behind." The voice just chants it with this mounting, rhythmic panic until the static completely swallows the sound and Maya violently slams the call button off, her pulse just absolutely thudding in her ears.
Section 4. The Voice in the Well. 2:30 a.m.
By 2:30 a.m., the studio literally feels like a coffin. Every single flicker of that fluorescent light feels like a warning. And then, 2 terrifying things happen at the exact same time. In the physical room around her, there's heavy silence, that flickering on-air sign, and the unmistakable sound of slow, deliberate footsteps moving directly behind her. But in her headset, there's no static. It's just her own voice. Her exact broadcast intro is playing back to her in real time, but it's warped, like it's echoing up from the bottom of a deep, dark well. This impossible, supernatural audio completely breaks down her psychological defenses. Her throat constricts, cold sweat is sliding down her temple, and the voice in her headset, this other Maya, echoing from the well, begins to sob and plead with her. Don't look. If you look, it's over. I mean, just imagine the absolute breathless terror of that moment.
Hearing your own voice begging you not to turn around, while actual physical footsteps are slowly creeping across the room, stopping right behind your chair.
Section 5. Dead air. The final moment.
Those slow, deliberate footsteps finally stop, right directly behind her. Maya squeezes her eyes shut. She desperately wants to scream, to call out for help, but her lungs completely betray her. She is paralyzed by pure, unadulterated fear. And then, the live broadcast violently cuts to static.
The very last thing the audience of 91.3 FM heard before the station cut out entirely was a single, trembling whisper leaning into the microphone. "Please don't." And then, nothing. Absolute silence. The radio station just played dead air until the sun finally rose.
The last broadcast is just this masterful reminder of why we inherently fear the dark, right? And why isolation can play such terrifying tricks on the mind. Or perhaps, the scarier thought, why it isn't a trick at all. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought to take away from our explainer today. When you're all alone and the silence of the night starts speaking back to you, what is standing right behind your chair? Keep your lights on, folks. Thanks for exploring this one with me.